A man who says sorry when he's wrong, it's called honest. A man who says sorry when he's not sure is called wise. A man who says sorry even when he's right is called husband.
So I've just started seeing someone, but I need your help. All right, so I'm going to list all of their traits and you're going to tell me if it's a red flag or not. Okay, I got it. So he's this guy. Red flag. What? Oh my God, you're so right. How did I not see that? Thank you.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So on today's episode, what we are going to be talking about is why a lot of modern women will never find their Prince Charming, okay, guys? We've all seen the train wreck women who are 35 years of age out here complaining about men. Individuals like Clementine Ford come to mind, okay? But you get a lot of girls out here saying that there are no good men. You know, where have all of the good men gone? Why can't I find my Prince Charming? And that's what we're going to be talking about today, okay, guys? I have come up with a list of reasons why a lot of modern women will never find their Prince Charming. And I was just thinking, like, you know, we got all these girls out here who are 35 years of age who are complaining about being unable to find their Prince Charming. But you can see all of these women ahead of time in the works as they are being prepared to ask this question, guys. You know, all the Twitch streamer girls who can't play video games, who sit there, you know, half unclothed and all this kind of crap, guys. These are the next generation of women growing up ready to ask the same question. But we're going to be jumping into some of these reasons momentarily, guys. Before we jump in, as always, don't forget to come and join us over on Locals or Patreon, guys, if you're interested in becoming a supporter of the channel. The links are in the description. That's what allows me to make these videos, guys, and not want to pull my animated hair out every single time. But without further ado, let's just jump into some of these reasons as to why a lot of modern women will never find their Prince Charming. So guys, as we go through, remember to leave your comments. There's probably many more reasons than this. And without further ado, let's jump into the first one. So the first one is that they have already met their Prince Charming. Okay, I don't care if a girl comes around and she's 40 years of age and she can have the best sounding story of all time, guys, like, oh, you know, she was focusing on her career for 20 years, which really only left a couple of dates here and there on a couple of years here or there on either side to date, and she can come up with the most perfectly fabricated story, okay? But the fact of the matter is, guys, is that women have options. Okay, and they have options presented to them throughout their entire life. If a girl gets to, you know, just higher and higher ages and she starts to complain about a lack of Prince Charming, anyone who has any sense knows, inherently understands that these girls have already come across their Prince Charming. The problem is a lot of them feel as though they're entitled to more than they actually are. And they gauge themselves incorrectly, right? Thinking back to that Kevin Samuels video, rest in peace to Kevin. There was, you know, that video that he blew up for, where he was telling that woman that she was average at best, okay? A lot of girls, that woman, I believe in that video, thought that she was entitled to a guy who made like 6 figures and crap like this. And if you looked at her, you'd be like, no, I'm pretty sure she had like kids and everything at the same time. But the point I'm trying to make here, guys, is that they've already met their Prince Charming and they think that they're entitled to more than they actually are. Girls out here, you know, making like 30K a year with student loan debt, thinking she's entitled to a dude who's making 100 grand plus, is just absolutely ridiculous. And I don't say that, right, because men care about how much money a girl earns. It's not like we look at women and go, oh, she only makes 30K, I'm not so interested in her. Men don't typically think about it like that. It's just that these girls think that they're entitled to a lot more than they actually are. Like, if you're a dude who has options, okay, you've put in the grind on your career, put in the money, you've hit the gym, all this kind of crap, and you're going to go out and, like, you know, you have these options. Like, why on earth would you pick a girl who's like 35 years old? She's a single mother of 2. She's got red flags all around the place, and you're expecting to invite her into your life and think that it's a good idea. It's stupid. Okay, but that's the first reason, guys, that modern women have already met their Prince Charming. Okay, a lot of these girls, since they're a very young age, they will get attention from men. Okay, so as the years tick on and the years stack up and go on, if she hasn't found a man, guys, it really is not the men's fault, because she's going to have those options as she goes throughout her entire damn life. Now let's continue on to the second point here, guys, and that is that there are less princes that are available for them. And what I mean by this, guys, is that this is twofold, okay? As women get older, they're dating, the people that they're able to date, the pool of people that they're able to date slowly decreases. Okay, it's a kind of like a sharp drop off if she gains a significant amount of weight and stuff like that. But the point is that there are less and less princes available to them. Now, that could mean as a result of her getting older, but it also means that, yeah, there's always going to be simps out here, guys, but there are also a lot of men who are waking up to this kind of crap and telling each other about how this stuff works. Like, my dad was telling me the other day that he was in the gym and that there were 2 older gentlemen in the gym and they were having a discussion about red and blue pill. Okay, and like years ago, or at least in my mind, you wouldn't really ever think that that's going to be the case, okay? But a lot of dudes are out here waking up and they're not interested in being these women's Prince Charming. Like, there's no benefit for a dude to go out here and be the Prince Charming of a woman. Like, what's a guy going to do? He's going to go out here, he's going to earn 6 figures, he's going to buy a house, he's going to work on his body to attract a girl who overvalues herself, disrespects him, and then she has the ability to take all of his crap at the end. It, like, doesn't make any sense. It just absolutely makes no sense. So for that reason, guys, as women get older and older, they lose their options. Well, they'll still have a bucket load of options, but they do lose a lot of options. But the second thing is also that a lot of men are less interested in being traditional men and Prince Charming for these women. Like, guys, I made a few videos on dating and stuff like that, going out there and paying for dates for women. And a lot of guys are just not interested in doing it anymore. Like, dudes just are not interested. A lot of them are not interested anymore in being the traditional guy who's going to take her out and show her a good time and pay for everything and open doors and call her a princess and validate her. Because all of these things, it's like, if you do them, you just get kicked in the face as a man for doing them. So there really is no incentive. Now, that being said, there's always going to be simps out there who will go above and beyond and do all of this kind of crap, and like I said, they're the ones who are going to be kicked in the face. Now let's continue on to the next point here, which is that if her Prince Charming does eventually, even if she comes across a Prince Charming, right, a guy who she views as a good fit, who's obviously above her in a bunch of capacities, but if she comes across this magical guy, this Prince Charming who meets her ridiculous standards, she will either leave him because he eventually gets boring or something to that effect, or she will repulse him because of her actions. Okay, how many times have you seen it, guys, where like women will go out here, they'll get into a relationship with a dude, they will start begging that guy to, be exclusive with her, or do the chores around the house, or do this or do that, or basically do any number of things, okay? And as the man does these things, as his habits become more predictable, maybe they move in together so she knows what he's all about and what he does every day, that man over time becomes boring to that woman. So what ends up happening is a lot of girls, even if they love a guy, quote unquote love a guy, right? They get into a relationship, they want it to go serious, and they think he's fantastic. A lot of them get bored because the guy's not providing any sort of exciting stimulus. Like, it amazes me, gentlemen, that people in the year 2022 still want to move in with their partners. Right, it is an absolute recipe for disaster, not even like the least of which is because all of your crap can be taken, but also because, like, if you move in with a woman, the odds of her getting bored have now just increased so dramatically much. And this is why a lot of girls, like, they start to feel entitled to your time, or they start to disrespect you and stuff like that, is because they see your daily habits, and in your mind they've thought of you as like a guy who's mysterious, who's always got stuff going on. And maybe she'll see you on the couch eating some food, doing nothing for a couple of hours because you're being lazy, right? And she's gonna go, oh, he's not the man I thought he was, he's boring, I know what he does every day, I know everything about him, so now I'm just not so interested. And she's got her eyes out for the next best option. So that's kind of the point there, guys, is like, even if they find a Prince Charming, a lot of the times they get bored of men. Like, they really do. This is why you hear crap like, oh, I fell out of love, or we just had different ideas about the relationship, or some vague crap like that. A lot of girls will start wanting to take quote-unquote breaks, which basically just means that they want to be able to see other dudes with no repercussions. If a girl says that she wants a break with you guys, just call the relationship off right there. Like, you might as well just go, no, we're not having a break, we're done. Okay? But that's the point right there. And the second part of that point I wanted to bring up is, you know, not only do these girls oftentimes get bored or become uninterested in the guy once they get to know him, because it's all about that dopamine nowadays, gentlemen, but the other thing, this was a two-pronged point here, and the other part was that a lot of these dudes, even if she does get with him or they begin talking to each other or whatever, the women often repulse men with their actions. Okay, and if you tell them you're a misogynist, right? Like, and yes, I know I'm pronouncing that word incorrectly, guys, right? But if you as a guy, you say, hey, dudes don't want to be with you because you get around the whole town and your community property, girls will come out here and they'll call you a misogynist, boys. You know, oh, you don't like women, you're terrible, your relationship with your mother is awful, right? I've had all sorts of, like, you know, nasty emails and crap like that. I really should start reading them out on the show for some content, but like, you hear all of that kind of stuff. Oh, you got mother issues or some crap, even though I love my mother, right? Or like, you're short or you're ugly, all this kind of crap. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of women, even if they come across a good man, they will repulse him. Like, not always, guys. Like, this isn't every girl, obviously. But a lot of them, what they do is they do a set of actions that makes them repulsive to dudes. And if you tell them not to do the actions, then you're an awful person, right? Because anything that you as a man say or do to limit women in any of the decisions that they want to make, you are considered like public enemy number one. Okay, and yet, like, literally, if you go back years, guys, you know, the happiest relationships, most successful families, all that kind of stuff really stemmed from long-term marriages, you know, until death do us part was the idea there. Okay, but now it's like, if you tell a girl not to post half-naked pictures of herself on Instagram, guys, you're a controlling, insecure freak, even if she's your long-term girlfriend and stuff like that. But that's a whole nother discussion right there. So let's continue into the next point here, guys, which is that a lot of modern women have been told that they have all the time in the world by womanism, so that they think that there is no timer until it's too late. Okay, so like, girls will be out here, and one of the fantastic lies that you can sell to women, because again, guys, a lot of these lies that womanism has sold to women, the reason why they believe this crap is because they have an incentive to believe it. You know, like, it's appealing to their ego a lot of the times, or it's appealing to the fact that maybe they're not where they want to be in life, so they feel comfortable with it. They're like, oh yes, finally, somebody's validating my terrible decisions. It's like those videos that you see on YouTube where there's always like, oh, I'm in my 30s, I'm like 35 and I'm clueless and I still don't know what to do with my life, and the person on the video is sitting there going, oh, don't worry guys, I still don't know what I'm doing. It's like, everybody is just willing to be sold this lie that it's appropriate to get to points in your life and have no idea what the hell is going on. It's the same thing for a lot of women, guys, where womanism can sell them this crap because it's comforting for them to believe in the lies, right? The truth is not a sellable thing. Like, it's really difficult to sell the truth, but if you go out here and you say, Queen, you know, you are fantastic, you have all the time in the world, she's going to be like, yes, tell me more, I'll buy your $2,000 dating course or some crap like that, and before you know it, you're off to the races with millions of dollars. Okay, but that's the next point there, guys, is that a lot of women have been told and they choose to believe that they have all the time in the world. So even if they come across a really good guy, they might say, oh, I'm going to have a relationship later. Or I still want to explore my options or my career, even though she's like 29 and that clock's running out. A lot of girls want to, engage in this stuff because they think that they can do better and they think that they have an unlimited amount of time. Which, again, guys, is really disingenuous and awful, because what happens is they go out here, they wait for all the simps to earn up all that money, to gather all the money, and then they come back around and they go, oh, are you still interested in me? Like, I know it's been 20 years, but you've got money now and I'm a single mother to 3 kids. Let me slide in your DMs. And like, guys, that happens all of the time. Whether you're a simp or whether you're not, a lot of girls will come around when they're older aged, and now they'll come back and say, oh, well, you've got money. I'm interested in talking to you now because that's what I need. It's like, sorry, dudes don't have to do that for you, because make no mistake, it is a favor that the men are doing for these women. It's not as if the men are getting anything out of the relationship. Like, what do you get? Some bedroom fun with like a girl who's in her 30s who typically has no respect for you and is really just there out of necessity. It's absolutely disgusting. But let's continue on to the last point here, guys, and then we're going to jump into a Reddit story. So this last point that I have pulled up here, and this is a bit of an interesting one as to why a lot of women will never find their Prince Charming, is because even if they find that Prince Charming, a lot of girls will ruin each other's relationships. I don't know if you guys have really seen this, but if you have seen women ask other women for dating advice, it is typically very bad. It's like you might as well just flip a coin, or do worse than that, like roll a dice and count your chances on landing on a 1. Okay, and that's the odds of you getting some semi-decent advice. Like, you would not believe the amount of times that I have seen women out here who are like with a really good guy, and the two of them are doing fantastic. Maybe they're a couple years into the relationship, things are going well. She loves him, she respects him, and then like some girl or some like old girlfriend of the woman comes into the picture and starts giving like terrible advice and talking in her ear saying, oh, he should really do this for you, or why doesn't he do that, or Matt over here would be a better choice, and all of this kind of crap. And then before you know it, it's like the girl's running off with some other dude, or she's causing a bunch of issues and headaches, because oftentimes the friend is jealous that they have a successful relationship that's healthy in the first place. Like, it's always like the perpetually single women who are bitter at men, who always try and convince girls to like ruin their relationships and stuff like that. It totally is, guys. I heard, I think it was Coach Greg Adams. Man, this was like months ago. I must have heard this. He said it's kind of like when there's that one friend who convinces the woman to do something terrible, it's kind of like a dude in a relationship just consistently going to a script club, if you see what I'm saying. It's like, eventually, it's like, it's not really ideal. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually maybe one of the girls is going to come over and hit on them, or, talk about extra services and that kind of crap. It's kind of like the same thing where the additional woman, the friend of the girl, is going to be whispering in her ear, always providing that opportunity for something bad to happen. Like, guys, I tell you what, I've seen so many situations like this. Maybe you guys let me know in the comments if you've seen the same thing, where like girls will literally go, it's like almost like they just straight up go out of their way to ruin their friends' lives. And it's funny, right? Because what happens is, like, if the friend listens to them and then ruins the relationship, it's like typically I've seen this happen around with girls who are like in their late 20s. So when that relationship gets screwed over, that girl is like really struggling now because her options are starting to dry up from the men that she wants. She's starting to have a cry, and a lot of them just turn around and they end up blaming men, despite the fact that they ditched a dude who was like totally fantastic for them in the first place, who would do absolutely anything for her. Like, I can't tell you the amount of Reddit stories that we've been over where it opens up like, oh, I'm thinking about breaking up with my boyfriend. I love him heaps and he's the best thing that ever happened to me, but he snores funny. And you're like, really? Like, really? But guys, we're going to be getting into today's Reddit story here momentarily. So let's take a bit of a listen here. And this is a funny one that I wanted to show you guys. So let's take a look. So this story right here is from Dating Advice, which again, guys, all of these subreddits are just full of absolute degeneracy. But this is posted by a woman and she's in her 20s, and the title reads, "Why do men only see me as a promiscuous and short-term option?" Okay, and this is what I'm talking about, guys, with the women being unable to find their Prince Charming. Is like, even if they find that guy, she's going to repulse him and she's going to become a short-term option for him because of her behavior. So let's jump in and see what she has to say here. Blah blah, why do men only see me as a promiscuous and a short-term option? Hey y'all. Oh man, I hate that phrase. I can only think of, like, what's her name? Like Brittany Renner. Is that the name? I'm pretty sure it is Brittany Renner saying that crap. Jeez. I'm a university student in my 20s. I've taken a long hiatus from dating, about a year or so, and I want to get back into it, but I have a bit of apprehension. Essentially, men often never see me as girlfriend material. They kind of see me as a short-term thing. They only ever want to sleep with me and nothing else. It's very demoralizing. And you can say that, oh, it's because you're young, men get better in their later years. Well, I have a counter argument. Many of these men, after breaking things off with me, are immediately in relationships with other women publicly, and to be honest, many men in their 20s desire actual relationships. And you may be also, and here's the thing, before we continue, I actually agree with her here. You know, if you're a girl and you're out here and you're unable to secure a relationship, it's not going to get easier as you get older. You know, a lot of dudes won't tell you the reason, because if they tell you the reason, you're going to lose your crap over it anyway. You're not going to listen. And we're going to be pretty patriarchal out here if we say these sorts of things. And we don't want to do that. Let's continue. Maybe you also think that I date men out of my league. That's a good possibility. I feel I disagree here. Obviously, I can't post photos of myself and the men I date, but honestly, I feel I'm often the more attractive one. Not to sound arrogant, but to just put out the idea that I'm not dating supermodels while looking like a toe, dress well, and take care of my physique. So notice how this woman, by the way, it's fantastic how girls will be out here like, oh, don't objectify us, okay? But when she talks about dating someone out of her league, the first thing that she talks about here is not like out of their league in terms of like personality or being a good person or morals or anything like that. She goes straight to looks, you know? Well, let's keep going. If anything, I dress a little bit more out there. I live in a very warm climate, so I wear booty shorts and crop tops, etc. Also, I like to dance kind of a bit, and you know, right? So she takes care of her physique. She wears revealing clothing, and she likes to dance, in her words here. Even then, I don't think this could be it. I have friends who behave and dress similarly to me, and they have boyfriends and suitors, though I never do. I can't pinpoint why at all. Maybe I'm way more unattractive than I thought, or just super unlucky. I would really appreciate any help with this at all. I don't get around or anything, so I'm super puzzled why men treat me like this. Why men treat me the way they do. SOS, she says. Now let's take a read of some of these comments and see what some individuals have to say here into what she's talking about. I'm wondering if there is something in your behavior or the way that you speak that turns them off. And she says, I guess if I'm being honest with myself, I'm not super ladylike, if that makes any sense. I swear a lot, and I don't mind talking about bedroom fun. I can be a bit more bombastic, and I love to make jokes and puns. I'm not super dainty and feminine, I guess. I can see men not being into that at all, though at the same time, I don't think I want to be with someone who doesn't like me for me. It's fantastic how, like, the rationalization here, guys, it's like, okay, I want to be a man, right? And I want to go out here. I want to have no friends because I'm introverted and I don't like to talk to people. I don't want to earn money because, like, you know, I don't really like going out here and working or anything like that, guys. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a broke dude. I'm going to have no friends. I'm not really going to hit the gym, or maybe I might, like, once in a blue moon. But you know what? I still expect women to love me for me. Like, that's just not how it works. It's so fantastic, right? Girls out here like, oh, I swear a lot. I talk about bedroom fun. I dress questionably, and all this kind of crap. But I want men to take me seriously for the way I am. It's like, Your behaviors are not conducive to a relationship, and that's why men don't want to have a relationship with you. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments below. There are plenty more points that I could have made, guys, so if you found anything to be missing, feel free to add if you like. As always, if you are interested in supporting the episodes, guys, make sure you come and check out Patreon and Locals for exclusive videos. And as always, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I will be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Yo, what is going on, guys? Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's video. Before you head out, there's just a few announcements that I'd like to make. The first is that my editor, who goes through all of the blood, sweat, and tears of putting together content for us to endure, has started his own YouTube channel. The link will be in the video description, so make sure that you go and show him some support by going and giving him a sub. Also, we are currently looking to expand fiendish content creation behind the scenes, so if you're interested in becoming a content creator alongside me, be sure to check out the application form at the very bottom of the video description. This is for those of you who are interested in becoming a part of the content that you see here on YouTube. So if you're interested in applying, make sure to get in quick. People who apply first will have priority for consideration. Again, the link is at the very bottom of the video description. Lastly, if you guys are interested in supporting the channel, there are links to both Patreon and Locals below the video, guys. I'd like to extend a huge thank you to the supporters on those two platforms. You guys allow me to make these episodes, and your support is greatly appreciated. As always, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will catch you later for real this time, guys. Peace.